And we lost.
Hey, Bio Plus.
Yeah, it's hectic.
What's that? It's the man's drink.
African man's drink.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So anything he says now. Is it just
audio is not so good, so you whisper.
Then it's just the really loud words that you hear.
Yeah. Expletives.
I like the mud burner.
Do you sit down there? That's for me.
Where did he disappear to? Or has he seen this before? Seen this one before?
We made him tea. Exactly. We made him tea.
Didn't you get tea? I thought you got tea already. Oh, while you were looking us through the glass. We're waiting on
Wendy.
Wendy.
Oh, hello. How are you? Good, thank you. Hello, how are you? Okay. Fantastic, we're all here. Okay.
I think we're going to aim for half an hour to keep it under an hour.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, thank you very much for joining us and affording us an opportunity to share with you what I call our roadmap. So, you've seen us hovering around quite a lot recently, mainly on Friday afternoons, working with Joel to try and understand a little bit about the business, what your challenges are, etc. And so what we've put together is what we call a roadmap, a view to where we think HEX can help you in your business, and we've done workshops, etc., to get that information, but I'll quickly go through it. We've printed out the slide pack for you, so I'll go through quite quickly. There's 13 slides all in all, but there are some key ones. So it does go through a little bit of a background, our approach, and where we are currently, and looking for feedback and whether we're on the right track to helping you in your business from that perspective. So first of all, it's why HEX. So am I in the way? Or can you...
Fine.
Okay, so it's in your packet.
Yes.
But I mean, the top bullet point is really about we're there to support AAA travel in what we call becoming champion of tourism in Africa. So hopefully we can work towards getting a partnership with that. We also support ecotourism, which I know that Jermaine's quite keen on from that perspective. There's 3 bullet points really, just summarising some of the challenges we believe that you have using Tourplan. Fall short on document production. Well, we know that we've started rolling out the DigiDocs and the itineraries in that. There's also a few other areas. We've looked at diagnostic tools to help you with your data. One of the things that we actually, and it's further down in the slides, that we recognise is the quality of your data in Tourplan. So we've actually created some tools to actually help with that. We think that there's a bullet point there on the DigiDocs, and we do believe that it could be the differentiating factor that puts AAA travel ahead of other competing operators. And then we looked at mobile applications, which might not be on your radar at the moment, but it's something that we should be considering. Travellers these days, they look at their mobile for their itineraries, directions is a big thing, etc. So these are all areas where we think that there might be opportunities within AAA. And then the bottom bullet point is about security. We comply with the GDPR. There's a slide in your pack, I think, on that. I'm not going to go through it, but it just gives a couple of bullet points there as well. So, right. there's a couple of slides on what we call due diligence. Due diligence is when we go into a company and we actually find out who you are, a bit about your culture, a bit about your challenges, and what works and what doesn't work. So we actually did a workshop, and I think, Wendy, some of your consultants, I think you were there too, Berna, were you at
I
that
was
workshop?
there once. I don't know if it was this one.
So, and I should actually take a step back. We haven't even done introductions.
That's not.
Sort of firing away. So it might be a good opportunity. So Wendy, you're part of the consultants. What your role is?
Client relations manager.
Okay.
As Bella is, we just have different agents.
Different portfolio.
portfolio.
And I'm assuming
And
you're
then,
Ben.
yes,
Yes.
we are,
Yeah, contracting manager.
and we're very close to our several consultants who work on the agents we work for. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you'll keep people in our lives. So sorry about that. We should have started with introductions. I'm just so aware that there's a lot of material to go through in half an hour. And the rest of it. So field questions as we go along. So we held a workshop on the 22nd of June, and from that was mainly about the use of the DigiDocs and what were the challenges when we were rolling out. So that was one area where we actually did some due diligence. The other one was we worked with John to actually do some walkthrough of 4 of your key processes: your creditors, your debtors, and creation of a new booking, and all access, which I believe the agents use. Just to get an idea of what the functionality in the tool plan is, from what challenges you have, what are your limitations, where can we actually improve on that. So it was quite valuable to go through those walkthroughs, and we took videos like this, so it helps us when we're revisiting to actually just go and see what those processes were. And then the third bit is that we have been in regular conversation with John, but we're hoping to engage more frequently with yourself moving forward. Okay, so what were the outcomes from the workshop? Well, the first thing that we recognised was there's inaccuracy of information. So there were a lot of things like the GPS coordinates weren't valid. That's to name a few. I can't think off the top of my head, but we had a whole spreadsheet. And one of the key points coming out of that was about your data and the quality of the data. Again, inconsistencies of data. This is to do with a specific thing, which is the deletions of data and not replicating through. I believe that's still a problem, but we've actually acknowledged that, and we will work on that. And then, again, this was to do with DigiDocs. There was a lack of understanding of the online functionality and usage. So our plan was to gradually onboard the consultants with the dashboard and get them use of that, which hopefully we can expedite as we move forward. And I think we also made a decision then that the PDFs was the way to go for now, until we'd ironed out quite a lot of the problems with that. So that was some of the insights from that workshop. From our walkthroughs, we did a series of videos. I do have a link there. We might afterwards, if you want to see a sample, we can actually bring that up. The video. And why did we want to do that? To get a better understanding of your systems, the integration of the business processes, and also from a HEX point of view, can we provide all that functionality? And we've gone away and absolutely we can. So it gives us confidence that we can actually do whatever is necessary from a business point of view. So our recommendations was to produce a roadmap for AAA using the HEX Book 360 system, and it is to address all that insight that we got from our due diligence. So again, the improved accuracy and quality of all your data. So that's agent, traveller and creditors. This was from something that we recognise as well, the real-time availability of updated rates and availability of rooms from suppliers. and I think Jermaine was quite keen on that, is that how do we get real-time rates? And that's probably your area then, you know, to actually help get the turnaround quicker. Improve operations and efficiencies, that you can list a mile long. So there's lots of opportunities there. Again, it's about ease of use of a system. When we were doing the videos, it seemed in some areas that it's quite laborious, and there's also quite a lot of systems limitations that we recognise. And again, trying to replace some of the administration functions, we just see that there's a lot of editing going backwards and forwards. There's quite a lot of that happening. So, we put that all in a pot and said, how can we actually help you? And I'm actually going to skip this and go to the roadmap, because the roadmap actually relates back to that. So this is probably the key slide. What have we done to date? So in conjunction with this, and you can reference this, I've put together like a benefits tracking spreadsheet. So the milestones on the left-hand column relate to one of these milestones on the roadmap. And what we did is we've worked, some of the figures have come from Joel, so we worked with Joel to see, you know, there's obviously tangible benefits, and there's some benefits which aren't that easy to measure. And we've only really got up to those where we have a really good understanding of what's involved. But needless to say, there's lots of benefits going forward. But anyway, so if you work in conjunction with that. So our first milestone was, it's really the foundation, and this is our dashboard.
To play this down, I just need to sort out the level.
It's rebooting.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a shout when you tell.
And you've seen the dashboard, yes. And Berners, you've seen the dashboard. Okay, so we have a demo today. But it actually is triggered from the dashboard. So you will get visibility of that dashboard. Okay, so this is the foundation of our system. Everything hangs off this. So whether you want tools or whether you want quotes or reservations, all hangs off our dashboard. So we've actually, that is available to everyone, and as we get functionality, it just hooks into the dashboard. All right, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. The second part is your DigiDocs. So Wendy, you will know about the DigiDocs, and we're saying that's also available. And my understanding is that Wickshire uses it.
We are all using it,
You're all using it.
except
Two big ones, yeah.
TUI and NLP, correct?
Yeah.
That was the translation.
The translation.
Okay, so then that's fantastic. So be nice to get your feedback afterwards. I mean, we've made progress on that, and we're still working on it to refine it, enhance it as we go along. The point 3, the milestone 3, is the data cleansing. And I think that there is quite a lot of focus there. The more we refine your data and get better quality, the easier your consultants are going to have to be able to create their quotes, their bookings, right through to the itineraries. Okay, so we have already issued two tools. One is the GPS coordinator, which you can validate your GPS coordinators. And if you look at, in fact, that's quite a nice one. We've put some measurements against that one. So just for example, and I literally cut and paste what you said, Joel, on the diagnostics tool.
Blame
It says, saves the headache of searching through bookings to see which GPS coordinate is missing. This saves about 10 to 15 minutes per SAFI, which is huge. For those obviously with the issues. And we started at 30 to 40%, and now you've managed to get it right down to 1%.
Yeah, it's less than 1%.
Oh.
So,
Are those the
GPS, GPS with issues where you need to just go and correct the GPS. That's pretty
So that was a real win-win, that one. And then we had the itinerary sequence diagnostic tool as well, which is where the service lines were coming up differently, and I think that was feedback from that workshop as well.
To check, yeah, to check that the flights were delivered correctly, where you have your RD and then your flight service line and your RD after that. So we basically run through that and see, well, is the layout going to make sense to the system? And then it'll say yes, pass, or is the layout that has been used, the sequence that's been used by the consultant, going to confuse the system, and therefore we need to adjust the sequence. So that's quite a nice one. It's also available on the dashboard at the moment. I think that the consultants seem to really have the idea after our last couple of workshops, because I haven't actually found any bookings that weren't previously deleted service lines that were showing up as issues.
Okay.
So as far as consultants go and consultants' understanding goes, it's 100% as far as I've tested. It's just those deleted service lines from months ago that are still pulling through, and then that would kick out the sequencing saying, wait, hold on a second, there's 3 accommodations for the same single room on one night.
And we need to put a plan in place for that.
Well, that's where the
PDF.
yeah.
Should
That's
at least the system.
Okay. So that's about our diagnostics tool.
So I just want to add one thing to that. I think that the DB Sync visibility on the dashboard should probably also go in that category, because it's kind of a diagnostic tool in itself.
Okay, so those are at least 3 that we've come available to actually help. Well, they're tools. And we recognise that there may be a few others as we go through it. So as we actually come to themes where we know that there's a consistent pattern, we can actually then think about another tool that will actually help the guys in doing that. Then 4. So this is DigiDocs Builder. This is very exciting. So this is our latest thing. We say it's an extension of DigiDocs. So I think our last feedback with Alana, when she actually came and we wanted her to use the dashboard and see how she felt about it, was the fact that you're battling to edit the documents. And I know that, Joel, you've got a PDF online editor.
Yeah.
And we thought,
Yeah. We use it quite a lot.
yeah. So we're thinking, okay, well, how can we help you? So we then thought, okay, well, we should maybe edit from source rather than the PDF for a start.
Well, that's the goal, and that's the wish that we have.
Yeah, oh, but it looks much better.
And then the guys went even further and just said, okay, so what else? You know, what are all the things that you need, whether it's from tour plan or whatever, to actually be able to sort of drag and drop. And
So we'll demo that afterwards.
so I'm not going to talk too much about that because that's our demo today. So, you know, what other functionality can we add to that to make it more exciting?
Yeah, based on Alana's feedback, and assuming Alana shares her view with other people, she felt that the old tour plan way of doing it was actually better than what we have now. Not quicker, obviously, but better, because it gives you more creative freedom.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll get back to that just now.
Okay.
Well, creative, I would say, gives you more freedom.
Freedom.
Creativity
Is
is,
it?
is
Yeah.
on the lower
Yeah.
end
It's
scale.
more flexible and
Yeah.
flexible.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we come to, so where it's got a little circle, so obviously I should have put maybe demo in there as opposed to work in progress. Then 5 is what we were chatting about with Joel is to actually look at a prototype for building functionality moving forward. And we looked at all access because that's an independent functionality that I believe is rolled out only to one agent at the moment who's using it.
Well, and more. There's
Are they all using it?
WRC, Salford use. I think it's at least 7 that are using it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, the last time I was told, they said it was basically just paint who used it.
No, it's more. use it a lot and trying to use it, and there's more Asians that do use it. Not always to insert all their clippings,
To look up prices,
but to
basically.
look up prices.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we thought that that was a starting point because that you know, is a unit in its own right and it can be redeveloped, I don't know what the word is, to a standalone which the agents can use. And quite honestly, if the agents are successful, there's no reason why our consultants can't use it, sort of moving forward. So we thought, well, let's get a prototype together. So we're working on that to present back to AAA to say, you know, again, it's moving forward. Is this a good look and feel for them? Is it easy to use? When we were doing the videos, it looked quite cumbersome to use the existing system. So we're putting quite a lot of energy into that. It's an internet, you know, you're looking for online. You're looking for something a little bit fresher than what's there. So that's on our roadmap. Then I put 6A and 6B because this is where, and I'll put a checkpoint. We'll probably come to a crossroads here to say, okay, so where do we move forward with AAA? So it's really just a checkpoint there. We obviously can't move forward until we've actually you've reviewed the prototype, given us feedback, and all the rest of it. But we're really hoping that if you like it all, that there's a future moving forward. So we've put a checkpoint there, and obviously the result of that would hopefully be the partnership that we can then move forward with AAA. 7, 8, 9 and 10 are probably, well they're dependent on when we get to the checkpoint. But we've put it there because this is definitely on our radar. It's definitely, and if you go back to the previous slide, which is immediate opportunities and benefits that we can see how we can help you with your business. So I'll quickly run through them. We've talked about the mobile app. We definitely feel that, you know, to be competitive in the market, you need to go that way with the mobile app. And we're talking more from the travellers to be able to get their directions. We said that, Mark, you got feedback from the road trip or something, which...
Yeah. Well, that was from Joel. You guys discovered that in a huge number of locations there is no Wi-Fi, there's no 3G. People just can't get their Google directions the way we think in the city. It's automatic. So that's why we introduced Maps.me, which is great. It works offline, but the process of installing it for a traveller, it's difficult. I mean, even we as technical guys struggled the first time. You know, there's one important button at the beginning that has a cross on it, which implies that this is the button would cancel the installation. But that button actually means do the installation. And it's like things like that which nobody even gets. So we want to actually create a dedicated mobile app for AAA travellers, which could be skinned to agents. So you could offer TUI their own branded one, or Rickshaw could have their branded one. And that would include all the maps for South Africa completely offline. And the idea is that we make it easier to use.
That would sort of allow overlays as well. So if we didn't have too much information about that area, we could go find out information ourselves when we go on contracting trips. You can get information about that area, and then that could actually overlay inside the app. That's what the app allows you to have. All of that.
Show the points of interest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And have your videos and your photos overlaid. But most importantly, you're not relying on Google now. So when normally what's going to happen is if your traveller is using Google, Google's going to throw in their customers. You know, so if there's a hotel that Google is being paid by, they will throw that hotel's name and actually compete with your suppliers. That's something Henko brought to my attention last year. Other thing is that you can also enable the what did you call it, Joel? Transactions within the app. So if you want to start offering excursions, then that can all be done through the app, and then you can look at the dashboard to see a feed of what the traveller is doing.
Yeah, so
So it will actually turn into a live bookings portal
Could be
for anything that you actually load up on the back end.
recommended activities, anything we want to recommend
And
for.
also point of interest, because
Mm,
that's
exactly.
what's lacking now.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of clients actually want.
Or the routing.
Yeah.
The routing, instead of going from A to B via the N2, they
Exactly.
don't want to do it. Or if they do, where can they stop at a pub stall to have a coffee?
Yeah.
This, what we're using now doesn't allow that. When we are doing the manual route descriptions, you could put in, but now we can't put any extra information there.
Because that's probably one of the key points what Bernard and I mentioned is that our clients don't always want to go the straight road right to their echo, but they want to follow some scenic road. So how are we actually going to try and, would that be possible in new sort of map
Two ways of
setup?
Yeah. There's sort of two ways. The one being the demo that we're going to see now.
Yeah.
We'll be able to do that.
Yeah, correct.
Which is what we discussed, having the map snippets.
Yep.
And then the other way would actually be built in, baked into the app. So
Yeah.
it would be sort of a two-sided method.
Yeah. So the short answer is absolutely yes, but as Joel's saying, there's two ways of doing it, and I think you might even use a combination of both. The advantage of how we envisage this is that because when your traveller downloads the app, let's say they're in Holland, they download the app, maybe it's 50 megabytes, which for them is nothing, but it has the entire roadmap system for South Africa built in. So it means that then you, as AAA, have full control over the content that they see on their journey. And because it's like your own custom map, the stuff that you put on is not competing with thousands of other stupid things that Google is trying to shove onto it, which is inevitably what happens. And that lays the foundation for potentially a very, very nice experience for the traveller.
But the possibility would be that you would have the functionality of loading a couple of generic routings.
Exactly. As
I think that's probably
for-
where you can set yourself apart from the rest, is
Yeah.
that you can have some, would you like to travel this path, and this has got these sort of highlights,
Yeah.
this one has got, and not so much
the
either
shortest.
time
Yeah.
or distance probabilities, which at the moment it's more tending towards.
Exactly, and I think you summarized it very well. And also, again, it was something that Henko made an important point about, saying that into the future, being able to offer that content is going to be important just for your survival, because Google is muscling into the travel industry in the most obscene way. So you need to know how to put yourself ahead of their game, basically, and
Yeah.
your intimate knowledge of all the nooks and crannies and the exciting places that they don't have any clue about and they don't have content for, and being able to present it in a way that people are going to say, well, I don't actually need Google Maps now. I've got this amazing AAA map with everything curated by AAA itself, and that's what.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna do a demo of that. It will just be screenshots for now, but it will be addressing these points. We'll try to do that next week or the following week for you.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that covers the mobile app. Milestone 10 relates to it. It's like the next step, if we went that way, which is making it, package it and making a sellable product. 8 and 9 are sort of linked. So milestone 8 is to do with that recommendation about getting real-time rates, etc. So what we were saying is probably the first step in that would be to create a supplier portal to load those rates, which Joel's team could use, because you're doing it at the moment, obviously, and the smaller companies can use as well. And then 9, and I've got a picture there, is develop a universal API.
And sorry, and would there be some that almost like piggybacks onto tour plan?
Can be.
How should I see it?
I mean, it really was something that Jermaine planted as a seed, and then we have done these little iterations, feeding back with Joel, getting more input, and
You can see it here, actually.
yeah, maybe Joel, can you?
Do
I
you
just want to
wanna-
check the
do you
time.
want to
Sorry,
talk
guys.
through this, Mark?
We've run out of time.
Okay.
But,
The concept with the supplier portal is to have a place similar to the supplier extranet that Tourplan's offering,
Yes.
but something that's once again a lot more user friendly, that's actually going to allow the suppliers themselves, the Granny Dot Spot and all those little places, to load their own rates, pictures, accept bookings that we've made, have like one little place where they can kind of do everything relating to Tourplan, or relating to AAA rather, if we call it that way. So that we can sit on the phone with them, walk them through the very easy 2 or 3 steps that they need to load their dates, mark their blockout dates, do things like export their blockout dates so that they could give it to another supplier, so that they can actually keep it on hand or keep it in their calendar. Those little sort of value adds that we don't really see happening at the moment, especially with what Tourplan offered when it came to the supply extranet. They said they had a very low adoption rate for it, but the fact that we spent about 2 weeks trying to figure it out, and us in the support team never quite even got it right. I can't imagine how a little old lady at a guest house is supposed to actually figure out what is going on and how to load her rates and how this is going to work. So we're trying to make a little portal that's very, very simple to use, that if it's user-friendly enough and easy enough to load on a large scale, we could even use the same portal in support for us to load their rates on sort of in real time as we're receiving them. So we'd have little things like adding a fixed marker or automatically setting the cell to 50% of the adult sharing, or those kind of little add-ons. And that would become the first step in creating the universal API, where we're pulling rates from all the different systems, whether it be Activitar or Knightsbridge or SiteMinder or whatever it is. It's getting all of these rates, and then what us as the support team are doing is sort of filtering and making sure that the correct rates are loaded. So it comes through, we accept it, say yes, that's correct. This is how it needs to then be loaded into the system. So we become curators rather than
data capture.
Essentially. Yeah.
So if I go back here, you can see that the universal API is a step after the supply portal. So
Yes.
we're saying, let's get the interface to do it. Then let's concentrate on the big picture. How you get it from all the, and I think Knightsbridge is there, and all the other people that you get.
I think the big idea with the supply portal.
What about?
So they've got, I think they've seen that.
Yeah, so I think the idea with that is to have that live availability that we're desperately needing. That's the entire concept, or one of the big pulls with the universal API, and to reduce the load of loading rates to rather curating and making sure that the correct rates are loaded, so that we can.
But like you say, Joel, it all depends on, if we're good enough to make a really, 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 really simple interface to use, and then the support team can start investing some time, on the phone, but also on Skype screen sharing with the supplier. And if they're both looking at the same screen, it becomes really easy for someone to learn. You can teach anywhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't expect every supplier to use it, but even if 20% of them start using it,
It will help a lot already.
yeah. So we feel very confident that we can provide an extremely simple interface that will, even give you a little bit of an edge on Knightsbridge into the future, because that's the name of the game for them. Having the suppliers, and we know that they have massive challenges, and they haven't achieved what they wanted to achieve. But yeah, I think we can cut it there.
Yeah.
Or is there any feedback you can give us now? Do you want to tell us your concerns, your biggest irritations, and what you feel we should focus on? And
What I do hear from the consultants is that there's only 2 things a day for the travel documents, but if we have more influence there and going forward with a new kind of routing,
yes, yeah. Okay.
That's my issue.
Great.
Because I used to do travel documents as a living for a couple of months for a bank.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I would organize things in between. And that's our unique selling point. That's
Okay.
what we need to develop and improve. Because
Brilliant.
now it's all gone.
Yeah. And we feel that